What's up, guys? Isaac Stan here, and welcome to my show. I need to figure out a good name for that. All right. I wanted to go. So today I was going to talk about, I guess I'm just like, when I do these podcasts, I'm mainly just talking about the things that I've experienced, and then also the changes that I'm making in regards to the things that I've been experiencing that I would like to change. Mainly, most of my topics are probably like going to be health and surfing and the things that I'm doing, my fitness, stuff like that. But what I'm going to go over first is how to become a better surf athlete. I think there's so many topics. There's just a lot of people out there with a lot of information. So this is just truly coming from me and my thoughts about this and how far in depth I want to get into it. But really, I think, I shouldn't say. I got this from my good friend. My good friend Keiki told me this. And actually, as of in the last like 5 to 6 months, I'm more aware of it. But when you're surfing, it's to surf with a purpose. So what he meant by that is every session you go out, and depending on how the conditions are, the waves, whatever it's doing, it's to go out with a plan of how you're going to get better this session. So if the waves are looking really good and it's technical and you can tell there's big sections and there's maybe it's just peaking really well, the lips look well to hit. That was weird. So if that is the case, for me, maybe it'd be like I need to work on good proper throw tails. And the one thing that I've noticed too, if I'm not surfing super consistently, is the thing that I tend to do a lot is I'll do snaps when I'm coming off the lip. And I think I see this is a common mistake people do, is they'll fall backwards a lot. They'll do a snap, not like a layback, just like they're coming off the lip and their weight will go backwards, right? So that's a simple adjustment of just putting more weight forward, putting more of your weight forward when you're doing a snap off the lip. It's just stuff like that. If the waves are looking really small and it's grindy, going out and just, hey, I'm going to do 2 clean cutbacks on this wave. I'm going to work on cutbacks today. I'm going to work on flow. I'm going to work on my base, how low I'm going to get, how compressed I'm going to get through turns. It's like that kind of stuff. So you're going out surfing with a purpose. I think a huge common thing that people do, and you'll see people who will surf for 15, 20 years longer. And you'll just like, hey, main thing is we're having fun, right? But in the sense of progression, if that's your goal, I want to get better. I want to develop new skills. You have to have a purpose behind all this. So you see a lot of people, they'll go out, they'll surf 15, 20 years, they don't make much progress. They go out, catch waves, do a little bit of cutbacks, a little bit of turns, but there's just not much progression there. A lot of these people just don't go out with that idea, that plan of progression, or they don't know how to. But I think it's not as complicated as it may be in your head, but just like little steps, So that's what I've been doing lately. The waves have been very small, and I'll go out. I've been really consistent in the last like 4 to 5 months. I'll wake up every morning, I'll go down to the beach, and I'll surf regardless of how the conditions are. If there's something, I'm out there. I'm going to get into boards too, what I've been kind of realizing. But yes, so if the waves are really small, my home break is Hokipa, be at Pavilles. I will, and you can go right or left. It's dominantly a right, but there are some fun lefts that come off of it. I feel like I'm in such a rush to talk. Give me a second. Oh, this is probably why. Okay. So, with that being said, I've been mainly just focusing on good base, staying lively and light. Lively and light, though, when that's hard because you may ask, well, how do you stay lively and light, right? I mean, it can come from many things. Obviously, nutrition on point, fitness, making sure you're not overweight. But one thing is, what I mean lively and light is when you're surfing consistently and you're putting in the work, you tend to start getting the right pressure in small waves. You'll start figuring out weight distribution on your board. And it's almost like driving a car manual shift, whatever. You're releasing a little pressure off the clutch, putting a little pressure on the gas, and it's just like that with surfing. It's like just moving very subtly with your footwork, and I think that is a very big thing when it comes to surfing consistently, and what I mean by surfing light and lively. So that comes from just being out there and putting on the grind. You will get better at surfing small waves. And it kind of stems from what I said before, surfing with a purpose, and having an idea before you go out of what you want to work on, the things that you want to work on. I feel like you could go so in depth about it, but I feel like that is the true fundamentals behind trying to get better, and obviously working on your fundamentals. That it goes overseen all the time. The other thing I want to talk about was, I don't even know how I'm getting, cause I just winged this, is the coffee, I'm just like burping over the place, is surfing is it's a trippy thing, right? To kind of like, from a surfer's perspective, or someone who's not a surfer, of what good surfing is. I would say surfing is very subjective. What this person thinks is good surfing versus what this person thinks is good surfing could be different, but it's all good surfing for the most part in a progressive state. I'm not saying, if you're just surfing, it's good surfing. You're having fun doesn't mean it's good surfing, right? A surfer, if you put in the time, you know what I mean. Meaning, I guess what it comes down to is like, there's a stigma. I don't even know if that's the word I should be using to explain this, but there's a thing, and it usually tends to rail surfing, power surfing, versus aerials, very flashy, as one would say. And one person may think this is what surfing should be, versus another person thinks this is what true surfing should be, right? And there's some hardcore guys and girls who will kind of have their way of viewing this. For me, there's so many good surfers. Obviously, John Florence is a prime example. I think Felipe Toledo is a prime example of someone you would have looked at as of just like a aerialist, just like real flashy. But bruh, that boy's fucking rail work is high level. Like the surfing that guy's been doing the last few years on his rail is, if you've never seen him do a freaking air, you would think he's just a fucking true power surfer. That boy's rail work is insane. And if I could look at someone like that's what I would tend to look at as just like the ultimate, just an unreal surfer, but yeah, some people, like I said, surfing is very subjective, where an Italo type of surfing, which Italo rips too, like in other areas, but he's kind of just known for more like modern stuff. And that's kind of where a lot of people will tend to navigate, is like, that's what surfing should be. And to degree, for sure, like it is important to level up, and that's what those guys are doing. But we cannot not appreciate someone like an Ethan Wing, The rail work is flawless. McFanning. I mean, the list goes on, but these are just guys that stand out to me. That type of surfing is unbelievable, you know? And there's a reason why it is, because it's just flawless. It's beautiful to look at. Just like a freaking insane air is beautiful to watch. And when you combined it, that's just next level shit, right? So, like I said, it's subjective. When people lead this way, one person will lead this way, but really, it's it merging together, making an ultimate fucking hammer. And that's kind of how I look at it. I probably shouldn't be swearing so much. I'm sorry. But, well, I'm not sorry. I swear a little bit, you know? Okay. That was kind of cool to get into. The other thing I wanted to look into is the importance of your surfboards. Man, I'm 34. I've been surfing for a very long time. I've been competing on a high level with some of the best surfers in the world. I've surfed all over, and to this day, I'm still surfing and I am still competing. And this is just all work, and I'm going to be documenting this, and I'm trying to make mental shifts in order to be a better athlete, but to be a better competitor, because that's a whole different subject. So I'm starting to understand the importance of boards, and fins. Man, let me write that down. Surfboards and fins make a huge difference. I know a lot of people will think no, it doesn't make that. It completely does. It completely does. It is so important to have your small boards dialed in. It is so important to have your high performance shortboards dialed in for when the waves are 3 to 4 feet, 6 feet, your step ups. Boards are expensive as shit, but I am talking from a very progressive point, you know, and able to perform in all types of conditions. It really does matter having the right boards and the right fins. I've been really dialing in my surfboards in the last year, and I've gotten tons of short boards. I have amazing step ups. A lot of people who know me here on Maui, they know I tend to ride really big step ups, and I love my boards. I've been doing that forever, and I'm comfortable on my step ups. I got those dialed in, and I love shortboarding too. And I would tend to think that I'm a good shortboarder as well, but there's a lot of room for growth and learning and progression always. And I have a lot to learn. And with that being said, one thing that I've really realized as of lately is, man, I've gotten some boards from a shaper. His name's Mark Puen. He's from Maui, but he lives on the Big Island now. Amazing guy. But he made me this twin fin, and I'll show it. I'll put it in another podcast, but it's a twin fin and with a little trailer fin in the back, and the board is freaking sick. It's so sick. I gotta start adding footage. That'll be cool. And he's made me a lot of boards, but these are boards that I have right now. He also made me a quad board with a swallowtail. I haven't ridden it much, but that board's super fun too. But I've been riding that twin fit board with the trailer. It's been fat and mushy here, and I've been having so much fun. And not even just like in a cruise mode, like in a performance base situation. Early morning, waves ankle, knee high, just grinding. Board feels responsive, and it's fast, and it's smooth. And it's been firing me up, you know. And a perfect example is I've been working Arakawa for years, and I have amazing short boards, new ones right now. And I'll ride those boards. I got really good short boards. These are just like your traditional short boards. And I'll ride in these mushy waves, and it's just like, it's hard. It's not as responsive. But then I'll get it on like a chest shoulder high wave, and there's a little push, just a little more oomph. Boards are just insane, right? So it just shows you, like, if I were to base my experience and judge that board off of a session that's knee high or ankle, knee to ankle high, I would view it as like, man, this board's sluggish, you know. And I think a lot of people don't realize that boards are just like, it's like having a bunch of tools and making sure you have the right tool for the job. And that's kind of, it's weird. You kind of know this subconsciously, but I'm really starting to figure it out now. Like, it is so important. So that's a huge thing. And also fins. Fins are so important. I've put like fins on a board, and the board's like working. I'll change the fins out and put some other fins on it, and the board's just like magic. And so fins have a huge play, and I definitely need to get more knowledgeable when it comes to fins, because it is so important. But yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. It's not really long. I just wanted to talk about, and these are all, okay, I'm not saying this is how you get better, right? These are things that have been working for me, that I've been working on, that has been helping me get better, become a better surf athlete, in regards to just surfing, and the boards I've been using, and the fins. And I have to stop saying but yeah, we can get more depth in it if people do reach out and they're curious to know what kind of boards I'm talking about, sizes, fin sizes, width, leaders, all that. You let me know, and I'll get back to you 100%. And we'll keep it rolling, man. This is fun. I like this. Well, I appreciate everyone tuning in. Maybe nobody, but like I said, this is cool. It's like cool to it's almost like I'm talking to somebody. Well, I am. But it's like talking out loud. Like, I wouldn't just talk this way in a room by myself, right? My wife would come in and be like, "You need some help?" I do. No, I don't. Anyways, until next time, until tomorrow. All right? Aloha koko.